Hi, I'm Josh McDermott, owner of McDermott Remodeling, and today we're going to walk through a project that we recently finished. So this is a finished basement. The clients wanted to add quite a bit of square footage to their home. They entertain a lot, and there's a lot of features that were high up on their list. So in this particular project, we have a walkout basement, which made things nice, especially for the convenience of coming in and out when we're building the project, but also it allows a lot of light in the project, which will highlight some of those things as we go through this. So this project added 1,800 square feet of living space to this home. So some of the key features that you see here, we have a kitchen area that was very important to the homeowners. It's not a full kitchen, but it serves as a kitchen and a bar for when they're entertaining. And there's, so we have an oven, a microwave, a dishwasher, everything basically but a cooktop. They've got a grill outside, and so they're able to have quite a few people here, and they wanted to be able in the future to host Thanksgiving parties, things like that. They have the soccer team come over, all that kind of stuff. So a lot of things were really laid out in this project to make sure that we made the most use of this big open space. It's a ranch home, and so ranch homes, while they have these big open spaces, one of the problems that a big open space provides when it comes to a design perspective is how do we have separate spaces, and how do we show people when they come to the home and they walk through the space that each part of the space is actually going to be used a lot of times for a different purpose. So in the bar and kitchen area here, we had, when the home was built, they actually had a larger beam put in here. And so there is a thicker beam that is above this area. And what that allowed for is not to have a post in the middle of this. So they were thinking when they built this house, but they waited about 15 years to put this basement in, and until it was the right time in their life financially, obviously, as well as this the right time for their family. So what that allowed is for this really large island area. And we talk about things like this as how many stools do we want to have? Do we want to be able to walk around? Having a really good traffic flow when there's a party going on is important. Things that when you're working with a design build company, they, how to know if they know what they're doing. They're going to suggest things as far as where cabinet layout is. As an example, there is the recycle and trash can is on the end here. Well, that's by design because kitchen and bathroom design, kitchen design especially, tells us that if we have that trash can kind of on the end, it allows for somebody to come over here and then throw something away, but not be in the way of maybe where food is and things like that. We've got some outlets hidden back here on our Cambria countertops that allow for cooktop, for things to be plugged in, so crock pots, stuff like that. And again, they can cook a turkey down here if they'd like to do that. Other features that we have in this space, we have under cabinet lighting, and then of course we have two-tones cabinets. So we have the painted white, and this is a pretty transitional home, so we didn't want to go too modern, or too traditional. And then there's the other species of wood that we have here is a walnut in a finish, so on the island. So the two tones here, and then we have Cortec flooring throughout the space, and a lot of reasons for that. Obviously, in a basement, Cortec is a product like this, which is an LVP, is going to give you a lot of, it's going to contour and deal with the imperfections of the concrete. This house was built in 2008, so it's not super old, but whereas a tile, has to be very specific. It's very expensive to install that. So products like LVPs, Cortec is a brand that works really well in a space like this. It's very durable, has a commercial rating, is easy to clean, and this particular family may be adding a pool at some point. So we wanted something that if we have wet people walking through, it can handle that, or in the event of having any water intrusion in the home, which we had checked out and made sure that this basement was dry and didn't have any cracks or issues like that. That needed to be addressed. So another area that we're going to move over to now that was really important, and again, talking about how do we transition from one space to the other. So having an entertainment area was really, really important. This area here is an entertainment center that was custom made by our design team and Crestwood Cabinetry. It's really important to have some distinct space offsets so that we're able to help people when they're in the living area and the living space know that, hey, this is the area for sitting. As silly as that sounds, when you have a really big open basement, it can easily look kind of empty and sparse if you don't create specific areas for different activities. And so some of the things that, of course, we want to do is utilize what we already have in the house. And so this particular home, we had 2 posts here. And while they have a bigger beam going across, as we talked about in the kitchen bar area, that didn't make sense to add that in here. It would have required a lot of additional work that really just wasn't, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. So what we did, and what we've done in several finished basements, is we utilize those posts to create this extra sitting area here. We can get 4 more stools for these clients here, and actually probably more seats if they wanted to, and especially if it's kids and that sort of thing. And what it does is now for our entertainment area, where they utilized the, we've got walnut again as well, and a custom piece that our designers worked with Crestwood Cabinetry and made this custom piece for the entertainment center to help, again, anchor this area so we know that this is kind of the living room part of this large space. And again, now we've got countertop here. We've got outlets that are on 20 amp circuits. So if we need or wanted to plug in crock pots or things like that for a big party, we would be able to do that in this space if we're there. So a couple other things that are important to point out and think about in any basement are thinking about future projects and what might be done in the future for this home. And so these homeowners had, they have desire to potentially put in a pool and maybe a hot tub in the future, as well as they're going to remodel their kitchen. And so how did we handle that? Well, one, we had to upgrade the electrical service, one, just to handle the additional load that was going to be added here in this basement because of all the appliances and things we're putting in, but also because of those, the pool and the hot tub, we want to make sure there's enough electricity. So behind this area here, we have a sub panel. It's actually a very large sub panel, and we ran a circuit that goes outside for that future hot tub. So they don't have to tear the ceiling up if they decide to put that hot tub in. Same thing over on the other side of the house for potential pool equipment. And what that does is just allows them that flexibility of doing that later. So we have this large this large table, and we wanted to make sure that it was going to fit in the space, that it was going to be balanced with the kitchen, balanced with the fireplace, and also kind of moving into this other part of the space, that there was going to be enough space for a ping pong table and potential future pool table. So that's another benefit of Chief Architect and a 3D rendering software like that, and working with a design build company, is you can really plan ahead. So we can literally drop into the rendering a different piece of furniture or pool table, and we can put a diameter around that and draw a rectangle around that and show what we need as far as spacing. Other thing that happened here is that we added another window. So we used to have 2 windows here, and the clients really wanted to bring in as much of the natural light, so they added a window. And we built into this space, so behind this wall here is a media room that also serves as an extra bedroom. So this could be a potential mother-in-law suite if anybody ever wanted to use that, or it could just be another bedroom for anyone. So there's a closet in there, it's a legal bedroom. There's egress outside because of another window. But because of that daylight window in there and the other window, we really wanted to make sure that that light spilled over, and really help the clients do that and make it not feel like a basement. So they already had a 9-foot pour. That window really, really helped with that aspect of that. And then last kind of feature of this area is we have underneath the stairs, we put in a wine cooler area and a little bar area, just being able to kind of, what do we do with that space under the stairs is a common question. So there's lots of little ideas. We can continue the backsplash through there as well. So a lot of little creative things that can happen. We've done cubbies for kids to have play areas, all kinds of stuff. Really, as much as you can imagine can be done. Last couple components of this space that were really important to the homeowners were having, of course, a shower and bathroom down here again, so that you have a bedroom, and that makes sense. for them and for anybody that does make this their bedroom. But also there was an element of creating some real enjoyment for them, because they always wanted a steam shower, and as a therapeutic recovery type thing. Again, fitness is very important to them, so having a steam shower in this particular space was something that they wanted to add. So a couple things when you're adding a steam shower, we do a couple of these a year, and we're able to, one, it has to be all tile, and two, we have to have a slope to the ceiling. So you can see there's a slope to that ceiling. It has to be 1 inch per foot. And the reason for that is so that when somebody's in there and you have the steam on, that you don't have cold water dripping on your head. So the surface tension allows that water to roll down to the edge of the wall and then go down the wall. There's a few drips here and there sometimes, but for the most part, that is again, one of the reasons that the Tile Institute asks for that sort of thing. So a steam shower has to be all tile, and you really want to make sure, even on the ceiling, and you want to make sure if you're doing a feature like this in your home or your bathroom, anywhere, that you have an experienced tile installer, because obviously waterproofing is very important, but just making sure that for something like this, that everything lines up. Another cool feature of this space is there's a linear drain that actually has the tile on top of it, so it kind of just disappears into the space, and it's very, very, very nice and clean looking. Other thing when you're doing a steam room is you got to have a spot somewhere nearby for the generator. So usually it's a closet. We'll pick a closet and just put it in there. Make sure that there's a drain in that space. So we have to have direct power, of course, for it. So then another additional electrical circuit that we need. And then we, of course, want to make sure that there's a drain, because they do have some condensation that come out of the steam units that needs to be drained. So just a couple considerations when you're doing that, but great, very functional space. Can be, of course, just a regular shower, or can be used for that therapeutic steam when after workout or whatever you desire. So the last feature of this home and of this finished basement that was really important to the clients was this gym that you see. So fitness is very important to them, and adding a home gym can be, and they've told us that it can be one of the most, the highest ROI on your return on your investment, because it's, especially if you're busy and fitness is important, it's not so much that you save money on a gym membership, you do to a degree, but you save time, and just having that, and then of course having it for the family as well, is something that a lot of people that have home gyms, they'll say, hey, their kids will actually come down and work out with them. A couple other features of this space is that we had original electrical panel, and so we've got a cabinet door, and that's what's used a lot of times. We try to find a space and paint it the same color as the wall, just kind of help that blend in. We have in that closet that's there, we had where there's an original sump pump that's important. We can't get rid of that. There's a sewage ejection pit because of where this house sits on the lot and where the sewer line comes out. So sometimes that's something that has to be installed in a finished basement. And so we just built around that. And then a couple other little things in this space. There is an access panel here. So you can barely tell it's there because we painted the wall the same color, and that is where the water line comes into the house. So access panels are a great way to still have access, of course, to shutoffs for water, gas, things like that, or a clean out, so that if you do have a problem in the future, you don't have to cut a hole. We get called as remodelers to cut holes in people's houses, solve problems for them a lot of times, and if there's an access panel, we can prevent that, and we can make it blend in.